Bear in mind all of the lies Piers Morgan has told in his life, and now finds himself a YouTuber that no one wants to watch and Americans don't like because he's anti-guns. His biggest regret, I know, is walking off the set of ITV.
Katie Hopkins, love her or hate her, and I love her. And if you're watching this channel, you probably love her too. Here she is being interviewed by a guy called Andrew Gold. They have a long interview, about an hour and a half, and I'm going to be making a few videos commenting on clips from this interview, so let's just get right into it. Right at this point in the interview, they're talking about Piers Morgan, her arch, one of her arch nemeses. So let's see what she has to say about Piers Morgan. Here's Katie Hopkins. Let's hop in.
She's she's a nutter. She's off her rocket. I totally respect that, you know. But I can say firsthand, whatever that thing is out there, the heads of religious organisations, charities, governments, it exists. And when they work together to remove a person, you are gone. Yeah.
That must have been frightening, to say the least. I'm worried of using
I hear
words
you.
that aren't strong enough.
I know you are.
That must have been
I know.
very...
Don't let me intimidate you. That's not fair at all. But it's.
I don't want you to walk off if I use the wrong word.
I would never walk off. I
Really?
always turn up where I say I'm going to turn up. I always turn up early, 5 minutes before the 5 minutes before. I'm military, and I would never walk off. That would show weakness, surely.
It would probably get a lot of views, actually. Did you see that Peter Hitchens one? He walked off.
Oh no, I don't agree with walking off. I think if someone walks off, actually, they would always regret it. That's my sense. I think people are regretful after they've walked off.
I think Peter probably is, because he was on a podcast. Alex O'Connor, and I don't even know why it wasn't. It was one of those things where you don't know why he's gotten so upset. It wasn't
right. And I believe, and the boys you have to settle yourself. You know, if you said you're going to do something, whatever that is in life, you do it. And I know that if you walk off, you will have let yourself down and you won't like it. And all that you've done is you didn't really control yourself, because you should be able to argue your case, or you can cut it and say, well, that was really lame. But you can keep going. You can just cut someone and say, no, that question was lame. On we move.
Yeah.
Like, can you not move forward? And I know at a personal level, Piers Morgan, the biggest regret he has, and bear in mind, this is a guy who has forged pictures on the front of the Daily Mirror and had to resign. He's hacked a dead girl's phone, allegedly. Bear in mind all of the lies Piers Morgan has told in his life, and now finds himself a YouTuber that no one wants to watch and Americans don't like because he's anti-guns. His biggest regret, I know, is walking off the set of ITV, his breakfast show, because he loved that show. And he still is not, he'll never get over losing that show. So
he does get, I should say, he does get a lot of views on YouTube, I think. I think he gets a lot.
I think he's just been humiliated royally by Tucker Carlson. It was very delicious to watch his lack of knowledge about Yugoslavia. But
Okay, a bit of gossip here from Katie. Piers Morgan gets huge views on YouTube. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I do quite a few clips from Piers Morgan's show, and he does get massive views. I would like to see Katie Hopkins appear on this panel. Maybe Piers Morgan will swallow his pride and invite Katie. Or maybe he'll even interview Katie like he interviewed Tucker Carlson recently. I did see the Tucker Carlson interview, Tucker and Piers. They sort of interviewed each other. I wasn't that impressed. Well, I saw half of it. I saw Piers interviewing Tucker. Anyway, enough of my digression. Let's get back into Katie's interview here.
regardless, your question that you asked was, you know, whether at some point it is sort of terrifying. I think I'm so lucky to have gone through it and be past it. You know, now we're another 5 years past that, and all of the things that have happened to me subsequently have really taught me, you know, that it was worth it. But it was a lot. And when I see it coming for someone else now, Andrew Tate or whomever, Tommy, you know, I know what the playbook. They know that I've been there.
But there have to be some people who are bad people, right? Some people are psychopathic and some people are malevolent. And Andrew Tate might be. I don't know what's true about the allegations. It's a lot of allegations. You're right that when people come for someone, maybe they're invented to an extent. But I have heard some of the things he says, and they're not very nice.
Right. Is Andrew Tate nice? Is that the question?
Are we allowed in society to, as a group, decide, hey, this person really is poisonous and they're not trying to be helpful in any way and they just want to get money off of everyone, and they do things like convert to Islam because they know there's a lot of incels in the Islamic culture who will give him money and views and things? Are we allowed?
Ooh, this took an interesting turn. Andrew Tate. Well, I could talk about Andrew Tate for a long time. This video is not about Andrew. I didn't realize this section was about Andrew Tate. I thought it was more about Piers Morgan, but yeah, he's basically saying this guy who's meant to be on the right apparently, but not as extreme as Katie, is already parroting the talking points of the media about Andrew Tate, who has been charged. He was charged with various crimes, and as far as I know, he's been under. He was in jail, then under house arrest, and I think he's still confined to Romania for at least 2 years. Maybe it's 3 years now. At least 2 years. And the charges, while they haven't been completely dropped, the prosecutor hasn't, the judge, whatever we call it, the judge in the case has told the prosecutors that their case is not good enough to bring to trial. Twice the judge has told prosecutors that. So basically, I think if they had real evidence, they could have put together a pretty airtight case against him.
Allowed to say, we don't like this guy, I'm going to criticize this, otherwise it will incentivize others?
Oh my good lord! So where you got to there? Are we allowed to say we don't like this guy? Can we criticize him? I mean, that's an obvious answer, isn't it? Of course, of course.
Well, I'm criticizing Andrew Tate.
Yeah, I think you're slightly muddling where you went there, because we were talking about the utter evisceration of a person, and then you've just modified that to, aren't we allowed to criticise someone? Of course you can criticise. I should be criticised. If I'm not criticised, what the hell am I doing? Plenty of people criticise me on a daily basis, and absolutely they should. Plenty of people think the opposite of what I think, and that is charming as well.
But you're talking about things you've said, which we could say, okay, bad, good, whatever. With Andrew Tate, we're talking about the transportation of children.
I'm not here to talk about Andrew Tate
Allegedly.
nor defend him. I'm merely saying that I have seen firsthand how the very powerful will crush an individual who is trying to speak truth.
Yeah.
And that, for me, happened personally and specifically at a certain moment in time, stood on the shores of southern Italy, watching the Save the Children boat operate as a ferry, paid for by NGOs, directed by governments, funded by heads of churches and religious organisations. That's the article in the Daily Mail that ultimately led to my demise. And it wasn't an ordinary person criticising that got me fired. The head of the Charities Commission, head of the boards of deputies, 35 signatories from the boards of deputies. You know, these are big organisations involved. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But absolutely, should society decide who they want to listen to and don't? Yes. And is that why we're going to see the end of the BBC? Yes. People are choosing to watch you instead of the BBC, I assume. CNN is finished in America because people are choosing Trump's way. Absolutely, people should have choice. But I think one of the things, I guess, for me is, you know, less so now because people are used to the idea that I'm actually just a normal mum, woman, person thing, feisty, is people used to meet me and go, but you're nice. And it would be hard for them to understand because they've been sold this monster really hard. You know, you're supposed to be 6'5" and hairy and you're just this little thing. And they're like, but you're nice. And that's the lie. You know, I've been very useful at highlighting the way the media will lie if they want someone to not believe you. What better way than to call them a name or call them controversial or make them a monster or show pictures of you where you're always, always ugly, like the ugliest you could look.
Well, that's horrible.
Well, it's just...
Yeah, but that's what they do. We, all of us, know how the mass media operate, how the legacy media, the establishment media, how they operate. They get somehow, and they all do it in lockstep, they get these orders, and when the time comes to cancel somebody, they cancel them. And I'm talking about proper cancellation, like Katie was canceled. You know, her bank dropped her, she lost her job, she had to sell her house to pay her legal fees due to lawfare. And they came for Andrew Tate, regardless of what you think of Andrew Tate. Yeah, he is a outright provocateur, you know, at a level far beyond Katie even. He can withstand it because he's so rich, but they come for other people. They come for Tommy Robinson. They come for these dissidents. And now what happens in the UK, you have these ridiculous hate speech laws where there's all these police officers whose sole job is to troll through social media posts and then, you know, either give warnings to people. You know, there's literally videos of cops in the UK coming to people's doors saying, we saw this post you put up on social media, you should take it down. Or going much further, getting arrested, going to trial, getting convicted, you know, for upsetting the social order. Yeah, because they were complaining about some migrant killing somebody, or they're complaining about the fact that England is no longer English in many places. And yeah, they will come for you. And Katie knows of what she speaks. So she has shaken it off. Hats off to her. She's very brave, very resilient, very strong. And she is, you know, to be admired. She's a beacon for all of us. And even somebody like Trump, too. You know, they come for him. They're always coming for him, whether you like Trump or not. You should look at what the powers that be are trying to do to him. It's pretty brutal. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll leave it there. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.